Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
Welcome back to another episode of the Credit Repair Hangout. I am your host, Eric Hicks, and today got a really special guest for you guys. My man, Colin Brown, business credit, business funding expert, owner and founder of BCU, Business Credit Unlimited. Credit Colin on Instagram if you're trying to find him.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colin Brown. Welcome, bro. Welcome to the Hangout.
What's happening? I'm glad to be here, man. Thank you for having me on. I'm honored to be here for sure.
For sure, man. Well, I'm glad you're here as well, cause man, like I was telling you when I ran across you, you had helped my cuz get some funding, man, and a lot of people out here saying this and saying that about helping people, but one thing I know about my cuz, he ain't finna lie for nobody. So
that's fine, real.
Yeah.
Sure.
So definitely the proof is in the pudding on that. So we're gonna unpack a lot of things. Obviously, business credit, business funding. But before we get to all that, man, let's talk about Colin a little bit, man. So
Colin a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. So what was life like before business credit and business funding? Like what were you doing before all this? Credit repair.
Credit repair too. So. Yeah, man. But before that, so how far back we want to go? Because I can.
Mainly, what I'm trying to figure out is
Okay.
kind of like how did you navigate your
point?
way and wind up helping people with what you're helping with right now?
Yeah. So basically, before I even started a business, I was an accountant. So I went to UNA University in North Alabama, graduated there with an accounting degree. At first, I was just in a sales job. I was like, all right, let me go ahead and use my degree. So, like I said, I was an accountant. No knock to any accountants, anything like that, because it's a dope career, especially at its highest level. But for me, like it wasn't cutting it.
Right.
Like, I just felt like it was more I could be bringing to the world. Not to sound corny, but like just being in a cubicle, it just felt like it wasn't for me. Just me specifically. Again,
Right.
no knock on nobody else. But so at that time, I was like, you know what? I need to start a business. But really, like that was when I was like, I really need to actually do it because I've been thinking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, it's time to actually make something happen. And I built my own credit score up to like a 720. And I don't know, bro, it just hit me one day. I didn't know that many people that did credit repair at that time.
Right.
Because like I'm an OG when it comes to that. I wasn't somebody just hopped into credit repair when everybody else started doing it. So
Right.
This was like 2017, 2018 when I started.
Phew, and we in 2024 right now.
Yeah, so it was
that's
a
way
while.
back.
My bad, what'd you say, bro?
That's way back.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. So that's where it came from. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I just attacked something. I didn't know about like nothing about being a business owner for real or like the credit repair industry in itself.
Right.
I hopped on something. So I was doing credit repair for since that time, really, like full time 2018. That's a whole nother story too. I got fired from my job, but we can talk about that. we can talk about that soon. And yeah, man, from there, around 2022, like 2+ years ago, I really decided to go the funding route because I felt like just doing credit repair. Also, I wasn't giving everything I had, everything I knew, like everything I learned about business funding, about being a business owner in general up to that point, because most of my clients weren't business owners. So, and no, not today either. You ain't got to be. I mean, it is what it is. But that's what made me go the business funding route. Like I felt like, I can bring more to the table. So that's kind of how I got there. And then, yeah, I love it here, bro. Like they say, I love it here.
No, I love it, and how I said, introducing you. So BCU,
Yeah,
that stands for Business Credit Unlimited.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So let's unpack that. What is BCU for somebody that has no idea what we're even talking about right now?
So it's a business funding service. I don't like saying course because that word really has a negative connotation nowadays, but it's not a course anyways. Like what I do and what it is I bring a client in, we analyze their reports, see which banks would give them the most funding for their business so they can start, grow, scale their company. And we put them in contact with business relationship managers, or even if it's an online application, which at this point, like 70-80% of the time, we have business relationship managers that we're working with. And real quick, if like someone isn't aware of what that is, essentially a business relationship manager is a higher tier banker. So what they do is, that's different from a regular banker, is they can actually request a limit on a business credit card or a business line of credit, where a lot of times the people that work in the bank, or if you do it online, you can't do that. For Chase, for example, like you can ask Antoine, he got approved for $75K for just one Chase Inc. business credit card, because we can request a limit with this business relationship manager. So that makes it a lot different. But that's what we do. So if, like, say if Chase is a good fit for them, it's all unique to that client. So we don't have a, specific, well, when I say specific, one size fits all approach. Like, it really depends on the client and where they are. And we send them there and then they get funded, man. So that's what Business Credit Unlimited is.
I love it. And thanks for elaborating on that. And I want to dumb it down a little bit more. So let's I guess let's play. I'm working a 9 to 5 right now.
Yeah.
And I got that feeling in my, my body, my manager, he getting on my nerves today. I'm like, man, I need to go ahead and start this business.
Yeah.
But I need some money. Is this a situation where like I can go and get an LLC today and come to you and get a whole bunch of money? Like, does it work that way, or?
Pretty much, if you qualify. So you do have to have a 700 plus credit score. And within that, you already know this. It's not just about the score. It's got to be the profile within that.
Right.
So normal things that we're looking for. Credit score. Again, 700 plus. Really, I like 720, 750-ish. But it depends. There's nuance to it. But 700 plus for sure. Normally, anything less than that, I don't care if it's 699, 698.
Right.
Normally, it's credit utilization is a little bit too high, your credit history too low, or you got some negative items. So we really need to fix that and address that first. But, within a profile, we're looking for credit history over 3 years for sure. 2 years, we got to work with it. But we're looking for 3+ years of credit history, meaning your primary accounts. Now you got an AU for 10 years and nothing like that.
Right.
But your primary credit cards that you own is over 3 years. And then we looking for the amount of total credit that you have. We want to see that at 10, 15, 20K plus. And then from there, what else? Those are some of the main things, but also, like, do you have some cash to play with? Because when it comes to business funding, you don't want it's kind of like dating. That's why we call it a business relationship, right? Or a banking relationship, rather. It's like dating. Would you go in? I mean, you married, so you already know how this works. Like, would you just go in? Say you weren't married, by the way. Would you just go to a woman and say, you know what? Hey, you know what I'm trying to do? Let's go all the way. You wouldn't do that.
You can't be too full transparency.
Right.
Starting out.
Right.
You gotta,
so
gotta take you out to eat first.
Right. Exactly. So it's the same thing with banking. Yeah. Like, you don't want to ask for money before you even gave the bank any money. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have a business checking account with them. You don't have a personal account with them. You don't have a credit card with them. But you ask them for $75K. Like, just think about it. It doesn't really work like that more times than not. It used to, though. It used to be a lot easier. Yeah. Like, back pre-pandemic, you could run up 100 just online applications more times than not. But with the internet kind of blowing up, so many videos out there, like, bankers see these videos too, or even not just bankers, like, the CEOs or whatever, not CEO literally, but like the higher ups in these companies or these institutions, they seen these videos now.
Right.
And like, they had to change things, man, because too many people were applying for business funding. So they had to kind of tighten it. So that's what they like to see.
So you mean to tell me these people that was making all these Instagram reels doing this pointing stuff saying, hey, go get 300K from this bank, they messed it up for us, man?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, man, I knew it, man. All these videos got 1 million views. Like half of them probably the bankers, man. They done shut us down, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's not as easy as it used to be. So you got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that's gonna lie in. Like, I'm not saying nobody else lying. I ain't here to knock nobody. It is what it is. But I'm not the guy that's gonna tell you that it's easy to get 200K in funding.
Right.
If you qualified and you know what you're doing, it's simple. Easy and simple, two different words though. It's simple. But if you at a 620 and you just started credit and all that, you are not about to get your business funded. Or at least on this high level, you're not.
Yeah, so my original kind of where we're at. We're at that 9 to 5 person that, you know, so they manager just, you know, you're like, man, I'm about to get up out of here. Yeah. So what I'm hearing you say is before you get up out of there is a few things you need to work on to make sure you qualify if you're trying to go through a funding, you know, specialist like yourself and get this 50, 100K to be able to get this business. And and so what it sounds like is definitely working on your credit is one thing. And you said AU, for people that don't know what that is authorized user. Yeah. And that means you piggybacking off of mommy and daddy or auntie, uncle, or you done bought a few trade lines. So what you're saying is, nah, you got to have your own stuff with your own name on it. So that's really good to know, because you know how it is when you're working at 9 to 5 and you see one video and they tell you, hey, go get an LLC today and get $1 million tomorrow. And
that's how they try to sell it. Hey, stay longer until you get yourself together first. Do not watch the video.
Just go outside and cool off and come back.
Don't go out there and crash out, bro. Don't do it. Yeah.
And so just sticking with kind of that scenario of like wanting to get started. So are there any restrictions on like types of businesses? Like, can I have any type of business and just go and get funding? Like, can I just be a personal brand and get funding, or are there restrictions on that kind of a thing with the banks?
So within that, yes, but no. You don't want to. Yes, because you literally could get any business funded. No, because it doesn't need to appear that way to the banks. So if you have a real estate business, if you have like Colin Brown Real Estate Investor LLC, that business could not get funded or get less funding than just Colin Brown Enterprises LLC. So the way that you name your business is very important. Like in your online presence, that's very important too, because if you have all this real estate investing stuff out there, like on your website, on your Facebook business page, on your Instagram, so on and so forth, they can see that these banks are looking at these things now. People think they not, but they are. Like I've had a banker like literally pull my stuff up in front of me. Like, let me Google your business and look everything up right there in front of me. They do that.
So you can look real sketchy real fast if your stuff ain't together.
Yeah, exactly. So we got it together. So a lot of banks don't typically like real estate investors because it's considered high risk. A lot of people know what that means nowadays, but if you don't, essentially it just means that your business appears to be risky to the banks to lend money to because of the type of industry or business type that you have. So that's why it's yes and no. Yes, you literally can if you know how to structure it properly. But no, if you don't, like you could literally get denied for it. Like PNC, for example, they don't like real estate investors. So if you have a real estate name, meaning again, like anything with real estate, houses, homes, those types of things that pretty much lets the bank know that you do real estate investing, you get denied or get lower limits because of that.
Right. So I guess just a best practice there, just naming your business, just something like enterprise is something that's a little more general.
Yeah, that's the best thing because it doesn't matter anyways. Nobody cares about your business name. Like as long as you can provide that product or service.
I probably can. I probably can come up with some names that they probably care about. I just seen some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. Of course, for that crazy, but for the most part, like people don't really care, and the banks don't unless unless you got something that's high risk. So it's the best practice.
No, that's good to know, because I feel like a lot of people, are in these stages right now, and if they can maybe stop the mistake before it, happens, versus incorporating in a, in a certain LLC name or whatever entity name, then having to go back and change that, it's probably way less work on the front end. You just do it, the right way, the way you're saying. So
absolutely.
All right, and I know you'll know this because when you go on YouTube, you're gonna see a million different videos, and the ones I still see are telling you to kind of, hey man, load up on net 30 accounts. Go and get this account, with this vendor, this account with this vendor, buy $200 worth of stuff that you don't need. Like, is that even a okay strategy to get to the money that we're talking about, like 50K, 100K?
No. Absolutely not.
Hey, that was a quick answer right there, bro.
So we could do a whole show on that alone. I got so much stuff that I really want to say about that, but let's just put it like
say as much as you can.
Say as
much as you can in the time we got allowed.
Right. Okay. So no, the banks do not care about net 30s the way that a lot of people think they do. Mm-hmm. Think about it. Why would I want to lend you 50K just because you bought some paper towels? Because you handle paper towels, now I'm gonna give you
that's fair, bro.
Give
that's
you funding?
Fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So again, the primary thing that banks are looking for when you're, at least for business credit cards, business lines of credit and business loans, different things. But we talking about funding business credit cards or trying to get funding through business credit cards. The primary thing they're going to look at is comparable credit. Meaning, what is comparable to a business credit card? A personal credit card. If you can manage 50K on the personal side, you probably can manage 50K on the business side. So that's the main thing you need to focus on. You slowing yourself down if you trying to get all these net 30 accounts that the banks are not even looking at.
Right.
Hey, don't take my word for it. Go to any website. Go to chase.com, US Bank, Bank of America, PNC, so on and so forth, American Express, and find me where they say, all right, go buy a bunch of paper towels and then I'll give you 50K. Look for the requirement. Get 5, what they call them, a tier.
Tier 1,
it's imaginary.
Tier 2, Tier 3, all that.
Where is that at? What bank?
In courses.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only place it exists. It's not a thing.
I may have not have paid $19.97 for a course at some point, so
that had
and
that?
I may or may not want all my money back right now.
God, yeah.
Just saying.
I've had a horror stories from clients too, so I hate it.
And not $19.97, the other $19.97.
The other $19.97, like you said, the other 19. Yeah. So yeah, it's not going to get you there. If you're looking. Now, if your goal is to have a high business credit score, then have at it. Go get your net 30s. Go get your tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 12, whatever it is. Go do it. But if you want 80K in funding and not an 80K paydex score, then fix your personal credit if you need to fix it, or structure your personal credit to where you can leverage that for funding. So you can have 80K in funding and not 80K paydex score, because here's the thing with that. People going at it the wrong way. It's reverse. If you get the business funding and you manage that properly first, excuse me, you can get the 80 paydex score. You can build business credit by handling your business credit cards, not the other way around. You can't leverage net 30s for business funding. Like sometimes clients are like already in position for funding and they think they have to do that first, but they don't. It's not a prerequisite at all.
Wow.
So
the course is just out here just confusing.
Yeah.
Everybody.
They either don't
and not all
know.
the courses. I'm sure somebody probably has a course that's actually helping, but the majority of the ones, just in my experience that I've seen, they all talk about that particular strategy. So they hear you kind of like debunk that, and seeing how many people that you've gotten actual money, it just definitely makes me feel like, all right, I might need to go your route versus like getting a bunch of paper towels I don't need that you said. So,
right. Like,
I still got some envelopes in my. I'm set on envelopes, bro. Like I probably got 1,000 envelopes.
Exactly.
Just from buying them. So
right. All you gotta do is just, a lot of times you just gotta look at it from the same perspective as the bank.
Yeah.
Like if you are at a bank and you're an underwriter, Are you gonna look at somebody's profile and say, "Dang, they bought all them envelopes. Yeah, it's time to give them some money. Wow,
Yeah.
they bought 100 envelopes and
Yeah.
they paid that $12 back on time. Yeah, let's give them 50K.
Yeah, that's straight clown behavior thinking, I think. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all you have to do.
Nah, it's
Again, don't
good
take
to
my
know.
word for it. Go on the bank's website and look yourself. Like,
I'm gonna take your word for it. Let's
Yeah.
research, man. You seem like you know what you're doing. So, but all right. So, and next thing, because you kind of got into it a little bit. So,
Okay.
business credit, business funding, like I guess to the untrained ear, like you would think those things are the same. Are you saying that they're different?
yeah, they are. They are because again, like with the business credit score and how much funding you have, two completely different things. A lot of times, like we get NAB.com or whatever the case, and we're looking at that business credit score. We're trying to get that to 90 or 100, whatever the case. But no, it's the banks don't look at that. It's not a primary source of what they use to actually approve you.
Right.
So, and that's completely different. That's business credit. Matter of fact, and one may be wondering, your business credit unlimited, but you're talking about business funding versus that.
I was gonna get to that.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the name. I know that that's what people resonate with, and it's business credit cards. So I'm being a little technical here, but for what people, because what I'm saying here is what people think of with business credit is different from business funding. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Right. No, totally. And all right, so let's go down a different street real quick. So,
Okay, cool,
'cause I'm
cool.
sure you probably had this happen at some point because you've helped a lot of people, man. So,
Okay.
and maybe this ain't even a thing. So, like with getting all this money, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm somebody. I had this, I just had a 9 to 5, and now all of a sudden I got 100K
Yeah.
in credit cards to essentially fund my business, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, but what if I want to go get laced? What if I want to go get some designer? What if I want to go get some chains or some stuff like that? Like, I mean, are the banks like monitoring what you do with this money, or is it just like, all right, this is your money, you're a responsible business owner, we trust you to do the responsible thing with it? Can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, I gotta be upfront with you. Now, if you say you got 100K and you went and spent 90 in Gucci on personal items, handbags, you bought your girl 3 purses, and all this stuff, do I really think that within a week, American Express or Chase is gonna be like, "Yo, is this business? Is this for business purposes?" No. However, should you do that? Heck no. Like,
Nah, yeah.
no, like that's
But that
wild.
temptation got to be real though, bro. Come on.
Oh man,
It got to be real though.
if you going that for the wrong thing, then yeah, absolutely. That's why I don't market to people that think like that. Like, because no, everybody that come in with me, I try to vet for things like that.
Yeah.
Like when we
What's
first talk,
part of the vetting process a little bit? Just if you don't mind talking
Yeah,
through
so-
a few things.
if somebody doesn't at least have an idea what they want to do with the money, then I won't help them.
Right.
Even if they have the money to pay me, even if they got the profile, I won't take them because I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
That crash out story. I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
You don't want to see them on Instagram popping bottles and
Yeah.
in Vegas, and you're like, I thought you was finna get some trucks for your trucking company. with
Right.
this.
Yeah. Where the trucks at? The bottles, where the trucks? Yeah. So
I'm getting to that. I just wanted to get a few of the Instagram baddies first.
Right. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not co-signing that.
No, man. The way I do things, yeah, that's not even part of my brand. Like, I'm there for the genuine person that's looking to again start, grow, and scale an actual business.
Right.
They have a 9 to 5. They tired of it. They trying to get out that thing. They already have a business, but profitability is not hitting where it need to hit at. They want to scale. Like they doing 10, 15K, 20K a month or whatever the case. But they trying to get to 25, 50, 100K a month.
And we all.
I know, right? So that's who I'm here to service. Like the rest of that, I don't got time for that, bro. I don't even deal with people that think like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's ever done that, right? So,
Right.
but and you just alluded to something else. So rather than the bottle service and trying to impress everybody with the money you got. So.
Yeah.
I guess a better use, for that money, maybe something you can use it for if you're trying to leave your 9 to 5 is maybe just having that cushion, right? Because I'm pretty sure, like, that statistic, I forget what it was, but like most businesses, fail for lack of funding.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
just having that cushion per se can at least give you like the peace of mind. Like, hey, at least I got this funding, these business credit cards to fall back on if things get slow or things fall through. So is that, I guess, a use?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think every business owner should have business funding, whether you feel like you need it or not.
Right.
Like you should have it, because just think about it, like when it comes to our personal funds. If you had a job, you had a 9 to 5, and your manager say, you know what, I'm about to give you a raise for $100K a year, especially if it's not like crazy. More obligations and stuff like that. Who's turning that down? Who's turning down $100K?
Sure, not me.
Exactly. I ain't either. But then when it comes to business funding, it's all these questions like it's a bad thing to have $100K for a business.
Right.
And then a lot of times people are thinking about where their business is now versus where it's going to be or where they want it to be. $100K may seem like a lot if you only doing a few $100s, but then once your business grow in scale, $100K is really nothing.
Yeah.
Like that's not nothing. Like you have to spend a lot of money to make a lot of money. You got to spend.
Yeah, you definitely got to spend money to make money. That old saying is still true. So
You got to spend, brother. I mean, I know you know. I'm just saying, like, cause
yeah. Oh no, it's ain't necessary. It's for me, but it's definitely for the viewers too. Because I know somebody at that 9 to 5, they itching, Colin. They ready, bro. They ready to jump out there, but they need that strategy behind what they need to be doing, what they need to be, working on, and also maybe some restraint they need to have a little bit so they really get their things together. The way they need to be. So
yeah. That's why you got to take it one step at a time. If you feel like though that you gonna crash out, you feel like you're not gonna be responsible, then take some time off then until you feel like you get there or whatever the case. But and I would say another thing too, sales and marketing. That's like the number one thing you really should be using funding on starting out, because until you hit a certain number, really that's your number one problem in a business.
Yeah, people don't know who you are. Like they gotta use the FBI to find your business, man.
Exactly.
Like, you, man. Every time I open my Instagram app, I see you. No offense to you, bro, but like you doing it right, man. Like I go to I'm watching stories, and they story, hey, here go you and my cousin you got the funding from. That's how I actually found you for this, interview.
Yeah.
Like it's through your marketing. So
I want
that's
people to be
great
tired
use.
of me.
Yeah,
I want people to get
for sure. They should
this dude
be blocking
again.
you.
Yeah, block me. That's what I want.
But they ain't gonna block you because you got what they need.
Yeah.
Man. You got the money, man. You can't block the money.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Nah, I love that, man. And speaking of marketing and speaking of like the wide range of people that you're, reaching on a daily basis, man, let's talk about the trolls, bro, because I know you got them. I know you got the social media trolls, those people that got, 2 followers and they following 2,000 people just to troll them all day.
Yeah.
And my problem with people like this is too.
Okay,
so,
bring it on.
and I honestly don't think everybody should have social media. It should be like an application process. But
Yeah.
so everybody is so quick to disprove something or call cap on something they don't understand.
Woo.
Like it is crazy, man. Like literally.
Yeah.
I can be like, well, hey, man, Colin, today I got in my car and I drove over here to do this interview with you. If I run a ad and that gets to enough people, they're going to be like, Cap, you ain't do that. And I'm like, what? So for you to actually be helping people, knowing that you're helping people, and you still got people talking some cap that don't work, man, this dude scamming just like everybody else. Like, does that ever get to you? Do you have, processes to kind of like filter out that stuff in your mind and keep going? Like, I mean, like, what do you do for that?
The thing I heard that changed the way I ever looked at that is nobody that's doing better than you will ever talk down on you. So
facts. Elon Musk ain't never said nothing bad about
you will
me.
never see him and nobody comment. Where Elon Musk at talking about, you didn't really drive over there.
Right.
So I know it's either somebody that's upset with the way they doing things. They just trying to be a comedian, because I think that's a lot of people's problem too. Like they want the likes, so they trying to be funny. Like a lot of people think they comedians for whatever reason. So
well, Facebook will give you like $17 a month, I think, if you
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So they be looking for the likes, trying to get that 17.
They get a reaction out of enough people, man. They get a little bit.
Yeah, they trying to get that 17. Okay, I feel it. Nah, but that's the way I look at it. I promise you, brother. I would tell you if it affected me, but it doesn't. Like the way we run ads, I mean, I get them like pretty much every day. And somebody saying something weird. I mean, it's weird. I could tell y'all some things I don't even want to. I don't want to say too much because I can tell you some crazy stuff.
Well, there's a consensus, go ahead. I'll just play it. Don't go too crazy.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go too crazy. It ain't nothing like too crazy, but they've said some like weird stuff, and I just block them, bro. Like I just block it and delete it.
Yeah,
and I will screenshot it because just in case I want to use it for content or something like that.
Yeah,
but that's my process. I see it. That's crazy. Screenshot, block, and delete.
Yeah,
and I just go on by my day.
And honestly, that's a great strategy if everybody can do that. And I'm gonna talk about one if you don't mind. I ain't gonna put that Instagram name in there, but
for sure.
But I saw one where it was like Cap. I applied and I got denied, and you were like what does that have to do with me that you got denied? And I was thinking in my head too, like, yeah, what does that got to do with you that they got denied? And that's exactly what you was talking about in the beginning, that everybody's not going to qualify. There's things that you got to do on your end to be able to qualify. So versus that person thinking, okay, well, why did I get denied? What are some things I need to work on? Nah, they first initial reaction, Cap, he lying.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my problem, bro. Like, cause if you just do the work, then you don't have to worry about, really that disappointment is inside of them. They just like, you just a puncher bag. They like, I got to take this out on somebody instead of putting that development in myself. So so you might know exactly which one I'm talking about.
I do. I remember that. Yeah, I remember
that. But that's the thing right there. And you said something else on your page one time. Honestly, your page is like a wealth of info. So if y'all not following him, Credit Colin, right, on Instagram.
Credit Colin, just Credit Colin. Colin. Credit Colin.
Yep, Credit Colin on Instagram. Definitely go there because it said something else, and it was not necessarily relating to business funding, but actually it is. And my most recent podcast episode that's probably gonna drop before this one is talking about what you said. You said accept that life is hard.
Yeah.
I love that, bro, because a lot of people have that victim mentality these days where it's like, well, nah, I can't do this because, I don't, I'm not worth. Really, it's a self-worth thing, too. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, or one little incident can happen. Like, they get a flat tire today, and, oh, man, they moping for the whole week. They ain't gonna never recover from that one flat tire, Like, and I think, and definitely being a business owner, you probably can attest to this. Like, I mean, how do you accept that life is hard and, go ahead and do the things you need to do? Like, what's some advice you got?
It's all about perspective, really, at the end of the day, because really you either win or you learn.
Right.
There's really no failures unless you just stop. That's the failure to me. Like if you just quit.
Yeah.
But if you take a L, everybody, you have to take a L in order to succeed. You're going to take many more L's than you're going to take dubs, or wins. So that's my perspective on it. Like that's my mentality. I already know stuff going to happen.
Right.
I expect it.
Yeah.
So instead of thinking, oh man, I'm just expecting everything to go right and then something wrong happen or what I perceive to be something bad happens and I get all upset about it, I already expect that things is not going to go my way. So when it happened, I'm not wilding out.
Yeah.
I'm straight because I already know it's going to happen.
Right. One mind shift that I had is kind of the things at my level that I might be worrying about that's a problem. To some CEO of $1 billion company, man, my problems are like,
oh yeah, and
and if I can't handle problems on this level, how I'm gonna get to the level I'm really trying to be on.
Yeah.
So that kind of helped me really have that mental toughness, to say, all right, man, these problems little. Like I got a flat tire change and move on by my day. I have something go wrong, a deal go wrong, whatever, man. Just on to the next. But I know that's easier said than done, of course. But I mean, I feel like if people can tap into that, they'll really get where they need to get to. So
yeah, that's why it's experience. That's why you have to keep pushing because the more things happen, the more you build up that that mental toughness to handle those things.
Yeah.
And one thing that helps me too is just seeing how I react to the same problems now than I did 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. the stuff that happens to me now, like if it happened a few years back, I'd have been like, oh my God, I've been one of these people we talking about, like just straight tripping. But now, like, I don't even be paying no attention. I just know it's part of the game, and I want to. But I'm not saying like everything I'm like that with, because like you said, you know, one thing that could happen to me that really affects me, the CEO of $1 billion or whatever company, they not gonna be tripping. So I'm constantly looking for those things. Like, how can I react in a more proactive way when, you know, conflict happens, or this happened with this client, or I need to do this, or whatever happens. Like, I'm constantly looking for those things.
Right.
I be looking for problems sometimes. Like, you got to look for things so you can. That's the only way you grow. If you go through stuff, that's the only way you really gonna grow.
Absolutely. And man, let's talk about customer service for a minute, because I know you take a lot of pride in that. So what's your idea of good? Like, well, actually, let me rephrase that. So tell me the best customer service that you ever received and why it was so good.
Ooh, the best customer service I ever
I
received.
know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot for sure, because I'm trying to think. Like,
or just something memorable, you know?
Man, bro, I just keep thinking about my own company, man. I don't think nobody do it better than us.
Hey, I love that. Hey, well, let's flip it to you. We'll go back to that. So tell me a time where like maybe somebody was telling you how good your customer service was and like the experience they had, and I guess what was the difference in that, why they was reacting that way.
Most of my clients, so when they come in, they get funded. I'll talk to them, and it's on my page, like on my pages. I'll ask them like, how was their experience and stuff. They mainly talk about customer service. They mainly talk about like how we handled them getting funded and not just the money itself.
Right.
Of course, that's very important. And they talk about like how it changes their business and stuff. I'm not saying they don't say it, but one big thing is like 50% of it is like, man, you were like this and you made sure I had this and y'all were so professional. And so, yeah, man, we pride ourselves on that for sure.
Yeah.
It's everything, bro. Like,
so how much contact do they have, like, I guess, with you? Is it like more emails, more phone calls, text messages? Is it like a portal? Like, how's that process with you? Everything
we need to get the job done.
Nice.
So like when they come in, we had that initial call, then we have an onboarding call. I have a funding coach now, so he takes most of them. But like he be on standby. So like clients that come in, hey, I just had a quick question real quick. Okay. He'll call them, they'll call him. Or even if it's me, like I ain't too big to do stuff like that now or nothing like that. But like just ask Antoine, he'll tell you, like me and Antoine, I don't know if I told you, but you know, he done came to my house 2-3 times now. Like
I did not know that.
yeah. We went out to lunch and everything. Yeah. So when I realized he was in Birmingham, like the first time we spoke, he became my client. I was like, hey, we got to do something like actual here in Birmingham. He was like, all right. I was like, I'm for real now. I don't say stuff unless I'm actually. He was like, all right. And then, yeah, he had got funded. I want to say at that time, he was like 155K, I believe. And yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember who initiated. I just remember we went to the new spot.
Bro, I just want to pause, man. 155K is a lot of money. Like, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
just be getting in one swoop like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money, bro. But you can continue though.
Oh yeah.
Just in case because you just like glazing past that a little bit. But it was like, because I know you're doing it so much. But man, that's a lot of money, bro.
Yeah. That's definitely not like the highest result I ever had or nothing like that.
You know, that's one of my questions, right? I was definitely gonna ask you.
Okay, I'll wait for it. Then I'll wait for it.
Nah, this is a good time now. So what is the most money you ever got for one client? And man, I hope it don't depress me when you say it. I'm like, man, I need to.
Okay, so this is where the cap people gonna come in at. So
of course, I got a section on YouTube for them. So
okay.
I got YouTube let me do a filter now. It said cap section.
Well, cap section.
Yeah, if anybody need to know how to do that for their channel, y'all let me know. So
wow.
It's just a bunch of trolls.
Yeah, so. they finna come at me on this. So the most ever, my client Garth, he got over 700K in funding. And it took us like, I want to say like 4 months.
700K?
Yeah.
What kind of business does he have?
So here's the thing. This is going to blow you. What he does is he takes rare, like baseball, any sports cards, basically buys them and flips them. So sports cards in, essentially just sports cars. So that's what it is.
Sports cars.
Yeah.
700,000.
Yeah. Let me tell you why, though. Let me tell you why. And I don't even really advertise him that much because I don't want, like, I don't want to say you were average client or per se like they're average, but in the average situation, they're not going to get the same results as him because his business is doing very well. So if your business is doing very well, the possibilities for funding is endless.
When you say very well, is there like a dollar amount on this, or is it?
So I would say, like, if you're doing over $1 million,
Yeah.
like you can get $1 million in funding if you're doing over $1 million, especially when you add in.
He's not doing that in sports cars, is it?
I don't want to. Like,
Bro,
say how much
I'm about to pivot. If that's the case, like,
I want to say how much he doing.
I don't know. The IRS might be. The IRS might be watching this, man.
You know,
I don't want to know how much I make either. So.
Yeah, right. Because I'm talking about the actual person. Like you can see him on my page and stuff. So I ain't talking about somebody that people can't find. So that's why, like, I don't know if you want me to say how much he's doing, but he's doing well. So
Yeah,
I just say that.
Wow. Nah, that man. I was having one of the moments. Did you watch Martin growing up?
Yeah.
You see that episode with Varnell Hill when Varnell Hill was telling him about the lake out back and this and that, and Martin he in his little sports station, and he was like, oh, his little radio station. And he was like, hey man, how I get to the money, man? How I get to the real, man?
Probably did, man.
That's like, I was just feeling, man. Yeah. Like, man, hold on, man. He doing $1 million in this. Like I need to figure something out, man. But nah, man. That's first of all, that's wild. Like $700K, that is wild. And if I feel like anybody that is on a 9-to-5 and you're trying to start your business and you worried about, what if my business fails? Man, you got a long time to figure that out if you got $700K cushion. So
yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, that's pretty crazy. So
yeah, I mean the range, the average range, I would say typical range would be more 75 to 150K. That's kind of our sweet spot. But we definitely done multiple 200, 300s, whatever the case. So it really depends on the client and where they at, their profile and everything else.
And so you've been at it for a long time. So like, do you remember that first client that you funded? Like, what was that like?
Ooh, man, I really don't remember because I was doing credit repair and kind of some funding at the same time.
Right.
But I do remember like my first batch of funding clients came from credit repair. Yeah. Because, I do funding exclusively. Like I don't do really any credit repair at all, pretty much. So I had like 5 to 6 of my personal credit repair clients. And I was like, all right, let's go full fledged in this thing. But I do remember that. And it was great. I'm not near as good. I wasn't near as good back then as I am now. So it's like, it's weird kind of thinking back on that, but yeah, man, I do remember it was great just seeing them get their approvals and everything. So I do remember that though.
Yeah. So you say it wasn't near as great as you are now. So like, I guess what are some things you better at now? Like what's
like I can look at anybody's profile and know how to get them 100K if they qualify. I can get them. I mean, I can look at their profile and their situation just by asking a series of questions and tell you how to get 100K. Like it only take me like 15 minutes.
That's wild.
Because I already know which banks are giving what, and I know what banks are located in each specific state, pretty much. And I use the research for that. Bankbranchlocator.com is one good way to see that. But like if I had that pulled up and I know you like where you at, I can tell you how to get 100K. Yeah. Like easy. Back then I didn't know it as well as I do now, so that's one thing. And then we didn't have access to as many business relationship managers, which again is a game changer. So like if y'all are seeing the like 75K approvals like you may see on my page, that's why. Because if you go and try to get that high of a limit just by yourself, it probably ain't gonna happen. 9 times out of 10. Probably 10 times out of 10, but just
I love that. But so what are some things like if I'm trying to do what you say, I'm trying to fix my credit. Like what are some things that might be on my credit report that I really need to get off of there before I come to somebody like you?
Anything involving credit cards, because remember they looking at comparable credit. So if you got 3 charge-offs from Chase, Discover, and Capital One, then you go to Chase trying to get a business credit card. Why would they lend to you? Like you've shown that with a similar product that you can handle it.
Right.
So And no knock to anybody that's in that situation because I used to have all that stuff too, but that's why it has to
Same.
be addressed first.
Yeah. So what about like random collections for maybe phone bill or cable company? Because you know how we is with cable companies,
I
man.
know,
Growing
right?
up, if you grew up like me, man, you switch to one cable company and you go to another, man.
Yeah.
Them cable boxes might still be in your closet right now.
Yeah,
And you know they're
forget to
gonna
take
throw
the
that on your
cable
credit real quick,
Yeah.
man. So,
For sure, quick.
so is that stuff you got to clean up too, or is it more so just the credit cards?
I like to see a clean profile.
Yeah.
So even if you can get approved, it doesn't mean that you need to apply because you could get a lower limit. Like instead of getting 25K or even higher amounts that we talked about, you could get 5, 10K just because you had a collection on there. If they decide to
I
patch
see.
it through.
Yeah, for sure.
So it could affect your results. It's a better return on investment if you handle all of that stuff first before you go for funding. But if you need it faster, and say if you have a collection, it's been on there for like 5 years, or a late payment, it's been like 3, 4, 5 years, or even 6 years, so I'm about to fall off. Then you still could probably apply. Just know that it's a possibility that could affect your results.
Gotcha.
But if it's old, if it's anything within 2 years, I wouldn't even do it.
Yeah.
Like, don't apply. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just try to fix it first and wait. Unless you just, I don't know.
You know that manager, man. Hey, like I've stocked my last juice on the shelf,
I know,
man.
right?
I'm
Yeah.
getting up out of here. You know how that feeling be.
Yeah, I know it. But outside of that, yeah, definitely just take your time because it's worth it. It's harder to get credit limit increases from a lower amount than just starting out with a higher limit.
Yeah. Man, let's talk about that too. So like if I am running that personal credit play to try to get the higher business credit card limits. So if I have a bunch of secured credit cards because maybe I had bad credit but now that's all I have, does that hurt me having 3 or 4 $200 secured cards? Should I shoot for unsecured before coming to somebody like you?
Yeah, I would say because it's really about the relationship too. So if you have those lower limit, well, two things, relationship and you got those lower limits. So if you're looking to get 25K, but you got 3 cars with $300, I mean, think about it. Like, it's way less likely that you're going to get approved for those amounts because you haven't handled that much. Or even if you have a 10 and 25K personal card, if you got a bunch of those lower limits, that can affect your ability to get higher limits. So I would just start out with some of the major banks. Start out with them. Like, start out with American Express. Start out with a Chase. I would say Discover. Discover is really good for personal credit cards. However, their business credit card is trash because it reports to the personal side. So I wouldn't really do that for funding. And Capital One, their business credit cards report to the personal. And that's one of the main benefits of having business credit cards is that they don't report to the personal. So don't fool with Capital One Discover for that. But anyways, I would just go to some of the
Let's say
banks.
that. So they don't report to personal at all? Like the business credit cards don't?
No, they don't.
Whoa. All right. So even if you do crash out, you still got your personal credit to fall back on. Or are they coming for you?
So if you are late and or you don't pay, it'll start reporting to the personal. But you could be maxed out.
Yeah.
Say if you got the 100K and you just spent 99K out of the 100, you still have your 750 because it's not going to report to your personal at all.
So that's important if like you still trying to live your personal life. Maybe I still need to buy a house right now, but I got all this money tied up on the business.
Yes.
If I was doing that with personal credit cards, funding my business, now my debt to income and everything else is so screwed up I can't live, right?
Exactly. And another strategy with that, say if you have good personal credit and your credit utilization is a little bit higher for getting a house or something like that, you can get a business credit card, do a balance transfer from the personal to the business. Now you look better to the banks or the mortgage lender, whatever the case, and your credit score higher, you get approved for a lower rate and everything. So that's just one strategy too. You get real deep with it when you like use your business credit for personal. If you have to do that or it's something that would be beneficial, it gets deep. There's a lot of different things you can do.
All right. And I asked you one question earlier. I'm thinking about my audience. I'm going to get all kind of emails after this episode. I'm going to let you know that right now. So I'm thinking of other things. So I asked you about designer. So you don't recommend that.
No.
and I always wanted this myself. So if I got $100K on a credit card, can I buy a car with that or nah?
A car, well,
Like if the car is $25,000, can I finance it then use the credit card to just?
it
take care of that
depends on
balance?
that lender. Like some
Yeah.
of them will take direct credit card payments, and then sometimes you would have to actually liquidate that business credit card. So essentially, with liquidation, essentially that just means that you pulling cash from that card,
Right.
Not a cash advance. Don't do cash advances because the interest rates are normally like 28, 25% or something like that. But you can liquidate a business credit card for like 3 to 6%.
This is good to know, bro. Like
Yeah.
for real. This is. I hope they listening.
Yeah,
I
they
pray.
do.
I pray. So I guess the answer in so many words, yes, you can
Yeah,
use
you
that
can.
as a
It's
funding
possible
source.
for sure.
Huh.
With the right strategy, a lot of things are possible. Like
Yeah.
for real.
And you
about
help with
people-
strategy. I mean, right?
That's what I'm all about. Like a lot of times people say like, oh, run this play. You rarely hear me use that word.
Does the word play sound scammy, bro? Or
It
nah?
do to me. Like not really. Like, okay. We'll use that if we talking amongst each other. Maybe me and you will say, okay, this play. But if I'm talking to a client, I'm not saying play this, play that.
Right.
It's all about a strategy. Like I run strategies. I help you build a strategy so you can be strategic. So you're not blowing up your personal profile with 10 inquiries and getting 2K, 5K limits all over the place.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get you the highest amount in the lowest amount of banks, the highest limits with the least amount of banks.
Yeah.
When you being strategic, you can do that. But if you just applying just to apply, you're going to be messed up. Like that's where, yeah.
That's where you crash out.
That's where you crash out.
Yeah, and I know we probably running low on time, so I was
Okay.
gonna ask you, like, is there any kind of general advice that you usually tell people before they, come to you?
Man, just get in position. Everything else I can handle.
Yeah.
Like if the personal profile looking good, you don't even have to have a business started yet.
You don't? Okay.
No, you don't, because that's easy. Like you can go to InkFile and have a business started today.
Right.
Not literally today because it's Sunday, but like 24 to 48 hours, you can start a business, have your EIN number. Ooh, that's another thing.
Speak on it.
Structure your business from a standpoint of having like business email. Gotta have all this different stuff. It's
What's the
overrated.
business email?
So like say at Business Credit Unlimited instead of at gmail.com.
So actually have a
professional-
domain.
A domain. Yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
A lot of those things are overrated when it comes to business funding if we're talking about business credit cards.
Right.
Because that's part of the net 30 stuff. Like a lot of times people want you to spend like 3-4 months doing all of that stuff before you even apply. But for a lot of business credit cards, a lot of banks, they don't care about some of that stuff.
Yeah, man. Just buy groceries with that money. Don't buy a bunch of, paper towels and stuff.
Yeah,
right?
you're right. You're right.
Nah,
But that's
love
one
that.
thing. Just get your personal profile in position. Everything else we can handle.
Just get in position. I
Get in
like
position,
that.
yeah.
For sure. And what's somebody's listening to this, they feeling it inside and they want to work with you. Like, what's the best way to contact Colin?
Oh man, so we got a lot of ways to contact me, but man, one thing I really like is on my Instagram page, like you can literally just message me first, and so I can see if you in position first before we just book a call. But on my page on Credit Colin on Instagram, I got a link there where you can go there and book a call. But really, bro, like I want to talk to him first to kind of see if I can help and see where we at. Like, yeah, I mean, I got a website too, of course, but I don't know. I really ain't trying to pitch it like that because
Yeah, for sure.
I really ain't trying to pitch it like that because I'm just here for the information.
Hey, I'll pitch it for you.
Yeah.
Because we need this, man. Like if
Yeah.
you feeling that, motivation, you want to start that business, you've been thinking about it, but the only thing stopping you is money, having funding. Why wouldn't you go and reach out to this man and get a strategy going and get in position to be able to get all his money that he giving
We'll put
up?
the link.
So,
We'll put the link below. We'll put the link.
Exactly.
We'll put it below.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Colin, can't thank you again, man, can't thank you enough for coming on. And is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get ready to hop on off of here?
Stop messing with them net 30s and get some real funding. That's all I want to say.
Hey, y'all heard it, man. Hey, if you want to find them, Credit Colin on Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Trolls, y'all comment too. And catch y'all on the next episode. Peace.
Let's get it.